That's what we're going to address tonight, and I hope you, by the end of this, you can actually get to understand it. You can actually minimize if you can't stay away from the wheat, and you can actually combine that with healthy eating. But the reality is this: for you to start a healthy journey, for you to start leading a healthy life, there are things that you must drop. This is not, there's no compromise here. There are things that you have to drop and then now adapt healthy habits. But it's difficult for you to just to drop these habits. I told you that it's difficult for you to just change a habit. You can't just drop a habit or change it once. What you do is you substitute that habit with a healthy habit. That's the easiest way to move out of a habit. If you know you're a person who masturbates at 6 in the evening, when you're idle scrolling through TikTok, scrolling through Instagram, and you're seeing all these thighs all over, and the next thing is you're jacking off. Substitute that time. Change it from being a TikTok time to being a gym session. So go to the gym, go and lift those weights. Halima Hussein, karibu sana. So when you do that, you actually substituting bad habits with good habits, and that's how the body or the mind operates. But if you just say, I will drop wheat, when you say that, you're actually fighting the wheat. You're actually fighting the sugar. And the chances of you dropping that or just fighting or getting through over that addiction, overcoming that addiction, it becomes a serious problem because whatever you resist persists. We said that, right? Anything that you resist persists. So the more you fight it, the more you are in denial, the more it stays with you, and that is a problem. So tonight you're going to understand something about wheat. You're going to understand something about seed oils. What are seed oils? Why are they toxic? Why do we say they are dangerous? And then we'll talk about also fruits. We'll also compare glycemic index and the fructose index. You've heard most nutritionists saying that, I avoid this because it has a higher glycemic index. Then you ask them, what is a glycemic index? They're like, glycemic. We were taught. What were you taught about glycemic index? Why do you compare fructose and glucose? That is what we're going to talk about tonight. So sit back, enjoy this. I hope it changes your life for the better. What is happening with me today? I've laughed enough. So let's go. We are going to start with the wheat, right? Because that is the most important one. We are going to start with wheat. Ngano. Wale ambao mwelewi kizungu. Tanzania wameniambia, kaka, naomba tafadhali uweze kuongea kwa Kiswahili ili tuelewe. Na mimi naambia kaka zangu Tanzania, ni vizuri hata nyinyi mtie nia kujua Kiswahili ama kujua Kiingereza, si ndio? Sisi tumejaribu sana kujua Kiswahili, kimetushinda. Nyinyi kazeni kidogo mjue kizungu kidogo tu, Ile kizungu naongea ni basic, si ati ni kizungu ati ngumu. It's science anyway. Science does not even require the English. So we are not here for the English, we are here for the science. Okay? Now, before I start this, allow me to tell you this story. On one of my online consultations, I encountered a guy who had issues with diabetes and all that. And of course, those are most of the clients that I deal with. So as we walked through and I started talking about the diets and how he can change his life for the better, and that diabetes will disappear secondary to him leading a healthy life, this guy, when I mentioned fruits, the guy was so shocked. So I was like, sir, but you've said you've been following me for about 6 months now. Why are you so shocked when I talked about fruits and telling you to drop the fruits? And he told me, sir, do you know I have hepatitis? Yeah, information is coming out. I'm like, oh, okay, you didn't say about hepatitis. Fortunately, healthy lifestyle fixes the liver, and you see, hepatitis is basically inflammation of the liver. So when you see any word that ends with TIS, arthritis, gastritis, pneumonitis, tonsillitis. Some of you say, I'm suffering from tonsils. No, tonsils is not a disease. Every one of us has tonsils. Oh, my children have tonsils. Yes, they do have tonsils. They're supposed to have tonsils. It's part of the immune system. But when the tonsils are inflamed, they're called tonsillitis. That infection is called, actually that inflammation is called tonsillitis. Okay? Having understood that, so he told me he's suffering from hepatitis. He did not mention which type of hepatitis, because I think, of course, he wanted to keep it as a secret. But regardless of the type, it's still hepatitis, inflammation of the liver. So he told me, doc, I've been strictly avoiding red meat, avoiding the liver, because I was told the liver harbors toxins, it keeps its toxins. So if I eat it, I'll end up having problems with my liver. I was told that red meat will actually cause me more problems with my liver. And I was told to move from the solid oils to the liquid oils. Wale ambao mnajua. Solid oils like Kimbo, to be specific. So I was told to move from that and go start cooking using Elianto. Because Elianto is more clear and is a healthy one because it's clear. And I know most of you, when you're walking in the supermarket shelves, you're actually looking at the price or the one that is on offer, and then you head straight to look at which one is more clear because you think the one that is more clear is the one that has less toxins, right? The one that has less toxins. So I was so intrigued, like, okay, so you're on seed oils without knowing they are seed oils. Number two, you are on sugar in form of fruits and honey, but you have an inflamed liver. So who told you this? Guy goes ahead and tells me, this is my, the gastro. The gastro, my gastro. You so those of you who don't know what gastro is, the gastroenterologist, the specialist of the gut. This is a person who tells somebody to take fruits and honey and all these seed oils to just heal the liver. This is not the first time I'm encountering this, because I encountered this sometimes last year when I was having a lot of people who are suffering from fatty liver disease, and they have been told to take sugarcane juice, and that sugarcane juice will help you heal from a fatty liver. Now, when you start challenging your doctor, you will realize that you are a better doctor than most of us. Let's just be honest. You will realize that you know a lot than we do because you're the ones who your body talks to you. To me, you're coming in to bring the symptoms, but the body is talking to you specifically. So you'll realize you're a better doctor than I am because your body talks to you. So it's only that I can try to listen to your symptoms, but you don't listen to your body. That's the only difference. And possibly I've gone to a class to study anatomy, and that might make a little more sense because I'm a little professional on that. But if you just take health in your own hands, you start to understand that the body will actually talk to you more than it talks to the doctor. It's you who actually talks to me. So I rely on your symptoms to actually guess what disease you're suffering from. So imagine, and when we'll be talking about fruits, you realize that the sugar that is in fruits, which is called fructose, we talk about it every time, is the one that is converted to fats, triglycerides. And then these fats start to accumulate in the liver and cause you a fatty liver disease. This sugar is in processed foods as high corn fructose syrup. When you read the ingredients, you'll see it, high corn fructose syrup. You will see this sugar is the one that is present in sugarcane. It is the one that is in honey. It is the one that is present in fruits. So as you're taking those fruits, hoping that you're taking in vitamins, you're taking in fructose. And fructose is being converted to fats. And the fats are going to cause you problems because they accumulate in the liver. And remember, the liver does not know how to store fats. So it accumulates in the liver. And these fats accumulate in the liver and they start causing you a fatty liver disease. These are the people who appear very thin, but they have all these metabolic conditions. Thin people and then they have diabetes. Where did they get it from? It is easy. They have a fatty liver because of what they are eating. And also, if you're just big, if you're fat, of course you're fat because you're eating unhealthy foods. You're actually inflaming the liver, getting to hepatitis, and then a fatty liver disease, and then all the metabolic syndrome come through. Somebody's asking a question that I'm suffering from gout. Now, I mentioned gout. I've actually done a video about gout, and I told you, gout is actually coming from fruits. Why? Because fruits are the ones that produce uric acid. This same fructose in the liver is acted upon by an enzyme, a urease enzyme that converts it to uric acid. And then the same sugar in fruits blocks the kidneys from excreting excess uric acid. Therefore, you start having accumulating uric acid in the system, and you end up getting gout. But because you don't want that route, you don't want to take the sugar, dropping sugar route, you want the shortcut, you'll go for allopurinol, you go for colchicine, the drugs. And then your doctor will make it even harder for you by telling you red meat is causing you problems of uric acid. But you realize red meat does not affect the kidneys. It lets the kidneys excrete uric acid the way they want. So gout is not an intake problem, it's an exit problem. If you block the kidneys from excreting excess uric acid, you will have high uric acid in the blood, which will precipitate in joints and cause you gout. So therefore, fruits are number one on the list of things that cause you gout. But anyway, rewind and let's start this conversation. We are starting with wheat. So much conversation. So this story was for that gentleman. So I was so annoyed about it. But of course, I had to just explain things to him. And then he gets it and he's like, no wonder I've been adding weight by just eating these fruits. I was wondering, how is it possible that I'm just adding weight? I'm now having ED and all these things because I'm eating healthy, okay? I'm eating healthy, but I'm wondering where are these conditions coming from? Now we see the culprit. But anyway, rewind. Let's go to wheat. You've had conversations around white and brown wheat, right? You've heard that brown wheat is the best, and that unga that is called atta is the best. And now everybody's running to buy that unga because this unga is the one that actually somebody who is diabetic or somebody who is intending to protect themselves from diabetes can use this unga, make the brown chapatis, eat them because they are rich in fiber. And because they are rich in fiber, they will not affect you. Shock on you. Excessive consumption of fiber in terms of that bran or even the vegetables will give you constipation. So as you think that those vegetables, excessive consumption of them can actually heal you from constipation, they can actually bring you constipation because the gut microorganisms feed on the fiber and in return they give you B vitamins. But if you excessively feed them with vegetable fiber, with the sweet potatoes, or with this brown wheat, what it does is you overfeed the bacteria and they are redundant. So they cannot do their job. They cannot help you digest food. They cannot help you break down fiber. And now you have this compound stool. You have this bulky stool. And that is basically constipation. You don't want that. Okay? So yes, so they tell you brown chapati is better than white. And then they tell you this one has a lot of fiber and is good for even people who are diabetic. This is the time that you can just listen to your doctor and you think they're speaking French or they're speaking Chinese. Because listen, number one, your body does not know color. Your body does not even know chapati. When you eat chapati, it is you who knows you ate chapati because you are told that this is chapati. You are taught by somebody that this is chapati or this is wheat. The body does not know wheat. The body does not know you ate brown or white. Do you think when you eat chapati, you absorb chapati? You don't. So if at all we were absorbing chapati and the liver knows, this is chapati coming in, I have to treat brown chapati special, it could be a different case. But this is the point. When you eat that chapati, it's you. From the eyes, you're seeing this is a chapati, it's brown chapati, well done. As it gets into your mouth, even your teeth does not know this is brown chapati. It knows this is a starch, breaks it down. As starch gives it some salivary amylase, you break it down, and the end result is glucose. Glucose is an enemy to us, high glucose to be specific. Most of us, our systems are just accustomed to enjoying glucose as the only source of energy. So therefore, the body does not even know, it has no experience of any other source of energy. Why is that the case? This is the case because 90% of our plates are just carbohydrates. You eat wheat in the morning plus the cereals plus milk. Milk is boiled. That is a carbohydrate. Lactose is the only thing that you're taking in. To be honest, pasteurized milk has no nutritional benefit because it's pasteurized and preserved. At 10, you're taking same tea plus sugar plus some snacks. Wheat is there. At 1, you're taking rice and beans, all carbohydrates. You add in cabbage that is cooked in seed oils. That is fiber. That is carbohydrate. You add in an Irish potato, or in your githeri, you add in an Irish potato. So maize is carbohydrate, beans is carbohydrate, Irish potato is carbohydrate. 100% carbohydrates. And then you added in seed oils, of course. At 3, you're yawning, of course, because you're always hungry, always at a level of insulin resistance. And I told you, the first sign of insulin resistance is you getting angry when food is delayed. You walk into a restaurant, you order food, and the food delays by 10 minutes and you're asking, where is your manager? No, I want to talk to your manager. You're already angry. That is a number one sign of insulin resistance. And most of you do that. So at 3, you're eating again another carbohydrate plus a snack. You add on a fruit. Fruit is a carbohydrate. By the way, did you know fruits are carbohydrates? Did you know that? How many of you still believe fruits are vitamins? Did you know fruits are carbohydrates? Modern fruits are carbohydrates. Now, at 4, you've eaten that, you close the office because you're angry, you just want to get home and sit down and eat this size of ugali, the balanced diet, this size of ugali plus this size, 2 pieces of meat and some vegetables there. You consume that, and then you go straight an hour down the line after watching news, and you've been conditioned by the government, by politics, by your favorite politician, has conditioned you to think in a certain way. Because again, the agenda of the media to spread rumors, to give you fear, to sell you fear, and to market products, destruction, death. Look at the order of news. Just destruction, death, disaster, and then agenda. That's the agenda, of course. So now, you've eaten at 8:30. Let's say 8:30 latest. Most of you eat even at 10 and 11. And then you've added on a fruit because, I top dress my ugali plus a fruit. So again, look at the carbohydrate source from 8 a.m. to 8:30. In 12 hours, how much carbohydrates have you consumed? Literally 95% of your plate is carbohydrate. But you're the first one to tell the doctor, I eat a balanced diet. And the doctor is like, ah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Tell me about the balanced diet. I eat ugali plus vegetables plus meat. Ah, I ask you, how much ugali do you eat? This type of, just, the normal ratio. I portion. My plate is, yeah. So by the time you're sitting down, so it has never been a problem. People can still eat carbohydrates and survive. The problem is, how much carbohydrates do you eat in a day, a whole day? How much have you consumed? How much sugars are you taking in your system? And you're a person who sits in an office under an AC, therefore no sunlight, therefore no exercise. You step in your car in and out. So no exercise, no sun. Your sleep is becoming a problem because you're snoring and you're becoming obese and all these problems. But I want you to be very keen. You see this issue of brown chapati. If you're so keen, you would actually have known that this was a scam from the word go. Why? Because these same people who brought you the first wheat, the white wheat, there were two brands of wheat when I was growing up. One starts with E, the other one starts with T. I believe the T one was a very good one for making mandazis, and then the E one was a very good one for making those chapatis that make layers. So that same company that actually made you this white flour, that's this white wheat flour, is the same company that came out with an idea that now we have to give you brown chapati, brown wheat flour. Ask yourself this: why did they decide to give me an alternative, an option? Is it because this white chapati is bad? Is it because it's unhealthy or something? Why did they come up with an option? Do you think they were just expanding their market? They came out with this brown thing because they knew what they were doing. They knew that if they just change your mindset a little bit, they get your attention off the issues and the studies that were coming out that wheat was a problem. They now bring you a certain type of wheat that has no problems. Put that in quotes. And then, just the same way the soda company did, brought people who are diabetic soda, they can enjoy soda without having to worry about sugars and their diabetes. It's the same thing that happened to this. And these are the food industries. They are big, they are bigger than us. So what they did is, they targeted people who, a small percentage. Do you remember when I told you they target the 20% of the population? When they target 20% of the population, they use this 20% of the population to brainwash the masses. This happens in the food industry. This happens in the medical schools. So they use the small percentage of people in the society who are bright, they train them and they give them a good salary, and then they use those people to brainwash the entire masses. Because they cannot reach to all of you, you'll resist. So they have to target a certain population and then use this population to brainwash everybody. So they knew that people who are diabetic are still addicted to wheat. They knew people who have hypertension, people who have cancer, people who have chronic conditions like arthritis and the IBS, they have to enjoy wheat. So there's no way we're backing down. There's no way we are saying our wheat is a problem. No. What do we do? And of course, they have the best psychologists, the best psychiatrists, the best scientists, and the professors. So what did they do? They decided now, for us to brainwash them, let's bring them this brown stuff and tell them that brown is rich because it has fiber. It is rich in fiber. It is good for people who are diabetic. Now, guess what? We will not be targeting only diabetic clients. When we say this one is good for diabetics, they even brand you diabetics because they want you to own the disease. So they say they will not target the entire population. No. They will come up with an idea that the diabetics can enjoy this because you see, these ones are the ones who are actually victimized in the society, the ones who are looked down on. Akona sukari. This one might die. So you must take care of his diets. So now these guys play the safe mode. They tell you, we are so good, we care about people who are diabetic. So we bring you brown chapati. This brown chapati or brown bread is specifically for people who have diabetes. And because you're there, you're not yet confirmed to be diabetic, even though you're pre-diabetic, but you don't know. The first thing you do is to run and buy this wheat, because buy this brown flour. Why? Because you want to protect yourself from getting diabetes. Now, when they have done that, they have cleaned their name. So even if you get diabetes, you'll never associate that diabetes to this brown wheat. These diabetics have already been conditioned to think that their life depends on diabetes drugs. So they've been told that they can eat unhealthy foods, actually eat every after 2 hours, and take drugs. They will prolong their lives. They will live a little bit longer before getting the complications. But they are being fed with foods that actually cause them diabetes. Do you think the food industry cares about you? It doesn't. It doesn't care about you, it cares about the profits. So once we target the diabetics, we sell this idea successfully to the diabetics. And now you can imagine a diabetic person coming to you and telling you, you know, me, I'm diabetic, but I've managed to control my blood sugars through drugs and eating brown chapati. You will be so convinced that, hey, this diabetes is a problem. So if I want to protect myself from getting diabetes, I'd rather do the brown chapati. This is the reason why brown chapati is more expensive than white chapati. Brown bread is more expensive than white bread. But they are the same. The only difference is the ingredient that gives them color. They will lie to you that this has bran, that this has fiber, and you will believe it. It is a lie. Let me take you back to the 1960s and back. Wheat was never a problem. Why? Because there's a difference between the traditional wheat and the modern wheat. And these are the differences. One, the traditional wheat, the old wheat, was whole, it was not processed. And again, nobody ate wheat every day, apart from the Egyptians, because they used to bake a lot. But most of other African countries never ate a lot of wheat. We cultivated it, but we never ate a lot of it. But it was not processed, it was whole. So wheat has three components. We have the bran, and this bran is the fiber. The one that they lie to is in brown bread. Number two, we have the germ. The germ is the one that actually germinates to give you new wheat. Okay? So this germ that germinates to give you new wheat is the one that has high nutrients. Because for you, it's just like an egg yolk. It is more nutritious because it has to serve the upcoming chick. So it must be nutritious so that this chick comes out healthy and it has all the nutrients it needs to start the growth process. This is the same thing that happens with the germ in the wheat. So the bran is the fiber, and then now good for the gut bacteria. So actually those days in 1960s, there was no problem with wheat, and these people, there was no relationship with that gluten with the gut problems. But I'll tell you why the modern wheat is the problem. So it had bran, which is the fiber. It had the germ, which is the one that germinates. So it had all the nutrients. Actually, all the nutrients in wheat are found in the germ. And I wish you could just extract the germ and use it for making the chapatis. And then the last part of it is the endosperm. The endosperm is the starchy part of the wheat. This is the one that is the most useless, non-nutritious, but it's just glucose. Now these three, what does the food industry do? The food industry comes in the 1960s. And remember, the dietary guidelines came in the 1977 through South Africa. This same South Africa that we have a gentleman who has the big nyash, who is just actually convincing ladies that you can make nyash by just squatting the way he does. You know him? South Africans? You are people who are actually messing the country. My South African people. You are the ones who are actually messing the continent, not the country, the continent. Everything is coming through South Africa. You can see now, they are the ones who are the first to legalize the LGBTQ stuff. South Africans, what is happening to you people? What is happening to you people? So now, dietary modifications in 1977 came through South Africa. Now see where we are. See where we are. Even though South Africa was actually freed in 1994, in the independence. They got independent at 1994, so they were the latest. Right? No, latest South Sudan. But at least they were among the latest people to get independence. They freed themselves from these crazy people. But they still adapted the same things. They are still doing the same things. And that's why it's easy for them to be assimilated, to just introduce these things to them. So wheat was never a problem because it was whole. So people used to eat wheat that has bran, the fiber, so they benefited from the fiber. They used to eat the germ that had all the nutrients. And then they used to eat the starchy part, which is the endosperm. That starchy part is the one that has gluten. Is the one that has the lectins. Actually, gluten is part of the lectins, which are very toxic to the gut. But you see, these guys benefited from it because it had all the other micronutrients that will actually benefit their bodies apart from this only one gluten, the only gluten one. Now, guess what? These guys come in with industries, and the food industry is actually producing the cereals, the spaghetti, the wheat flour, the bread, the cookies, the cakes, and all this. And of course, the demand comes up. Now, we need more wheat to feed the demand that is coming from the food industry. So what do? We must make sure that in this limited amount of space, we can cultivate wheat that will give us a higher yield under a very small piece of land. So what do? Of course, they woke up early, GMO modification. So now wheat was existing in different species. So combine these species and these species to come up with one species that will yield more yield, and it will occupy a small piece of area. And then it will take the shortest period of time to get to maturity. That wheat used to grow about 6 foot or 10 foot tall, and then the stalks used to break. Now you know it's ready. Nowadays wheat is down here. Go to Njoro, where they cultivate wheat on large scale. You will get to be surprised that wheat is about 2 feet or even 1 foot, but the produce that is coming from that farm is super high. Why? Because of the food industry and the genetic modification. Then they realized, if we have this food, this wheat, even though we've combined the two species and they are bringing us all this yield, but this is not addictive. This wheat is not addictive. So how do we make it addictive so that these people come back for it? Do what? Remove the bran. And again, remove the micronutrients by removing the germ. Remain with only the starch, the endosperm. And then process this endosperm. Now this endosperm is simply starch, gluten, glucose, and lectins. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you so much, Sexy Dre. Once you have that, what is next? Add in some preservatives. Add in some chemicals here that are super addictive, that they'll be hooked on this product. Now, package it in a good container and sell it to them. Now, remember, you've removed the nutrients. So they will ask, where are the nutrients? So for you to lie to them, because we want this wheat as addictive as possible to them, we've removed all things that can actually do away with the addictions. We've remained with only sugar. And now we've added in our preservatives and our chemicals, and now it's a package that is making wheat flour. What do we do next? Write a label. On that label, lie to them that this wheat has been fortified, has been added new ingredients. It has now folic acid. It has now all the B vitamins. It is gluten-free. Listen to that statement. Gluten-free. But if you've been here from the time I was starting this, when I was talking about the 3 portions of wheat, we said gluten is a part of the lectins that are present in the starchy part, which is the endosperm. This is the endosperm that they've given you. They've processed everything, removed the bran, removed the germ, they have left with the endosperm. And then they've made it so addictive, and now they're telling you that this is gluten-free. And because you are so quick to see gluten-free, you rush to buy that product. Who is stupid? Who is crazy? Ladies and gentlemen, so you bought gluten-free, but the company processed gluten, just gave you the gluten, and only wrote on the label, gluten-free. Yeah? So we expect that the one that has gluten-free is the bran, which they removed, or the endosperm, or the germ, they removed it. But now they've removed it, and instead of them even making flour that has these two, and they're telling us it's wheat, it's gluten-free. What is gluten is what is being told. We're being told that this is gluten-free. Hey, yeah. And because an African will never ask this question, will never go into their own history. Hey, this is good for diabetics. Hey, brown chapati. You know me, I eat brown chapatis. You know me, now even eating brown chapati has become a swag. You know me, I do brown. You do brown. In those parties, you're there running to take the brown chapatis before everybody grabs them. Now brown chapati is the hot cake. Everybody in a party wants the brown rice, brown chapati, and brown whatever, just because of the color. They are not stupid. They just took this starchy part plus the gluten, and then they add the needle food color, and then they lied to the label that is this gluten-free, because they knew, even if you know this gluten-free, what will you do? Right now you know it is gluten-free, but what are you going to do? Right now you know it has gluten. It's not like gluten-free, sorry. Now you know it has gluten, but what are you going to do about it? And then now they sponsor research, they sponsor doctors, they sponsor professors to come and actually confirm their lie. And then now your doctor is seated there with a pot belly and a tie, and your nutritionist is there fat as crazy, and then there's the same people who are telling you brown is better than white. I mean, Daktari, have you been eating brown chapati? If the answer is yes, how comes you have this pot belly? How comes you are unable to take care of your life? How comes you eat bread in the morning? At 9, you just go to work now. The moment you sit down, you're yawning. How is it possible that you never have energy in the morning until you take tea with bread? Daktari. That they have to bring you brown bread so that you feel good. When you drink that tea plus that bread, you're like, oh, now I can work. All of you go through that, and you know very well that breakfast table, when you take bread in the morning, at 9, 10, you're already hungry because wheat feeds its own appetite. It feeds its own appetite. It's a simple carbohydrate. When you break it down so fast, because it's just starch, you break it down, you release glucose, you absorb glucose fast. And because it has a high glycemic index, we will talk about the GI. It has a high glycemic index. Its chances of causing a spike in blood glucose are super high. And then when you get high glucose, the body knows this is a problem. Let me bring in insulin to lower this glucose. Insulin takes you into hypoglycemia, and the next thing is you're craving brown chapati again. Cycle continues. Cycle continues. And now you're angry in that hotel because there are no brown chapatis. They just have white. But you still end up taking the white and say, see, I took it only once. I'll go back to my brown chapatis. You're messing. You're messing. You need to be very cautious about this. These food industries are just clever. So that is one, the whole. This one now is so processed. No fiber, no bran, no jam, no nutrients. Simply gluten, lectins, and it's a starch, a simple carbohydrate. Number 2, of course, that wheat, because it has the endosperm, okay, not the endosperm, it had the germ. Endosperm is the starchy part. So because it had the germ, that germ was highly nutritious because it was supposed to generate the new species or the new individuals, the wheat individuals. So it was highly nutritious. But now they removed that germ. So what are we left with? Zero nutrients. So therefore the wheat for that time was not the same as the one for now. So when I tell you about dropping the wheat and you tell me, but my grandfather used to eat wheat and never suffered. He lived up to 90 years. I'm looking at you and telling you, you are not your grandfather. You don't know what the food industry did. Your grandfather had a farm. You don't have any. You're living in Nairobi, sitting on a balcony, eating your brown chapatis and laughing at people who are walking on the road because you have a car. Right? Thinking that, these ones are suffering. In my car, you can never lack chapati. Now we have biscuits that are labeled on bran, that are labeled on good for the gut, digestive biscuits, and we eat them. They are so addictive. They are so sweet. And because they are crunchy and they are a little tough, you're thinking, the fiber here is awesome. But the next morning you're having constipation. You don't even know what you've taken. The next time you're taking an antacid because you're having this reflux. But you're taking an antacid and messing the gut even more, so therefore more reflux. So no nutrients. The wheat now is fortified, and I told you fortification is a waste of time. They put that word there, fortification, because they know if they don't do that, you'll ask questions. So let's sanitize ourselves so that the regulatory bodies can actually buy our idea. So yes, we removed the nutrients, but we fortified it. So why would you remove nutrients from this food for you to add nutrients? Hello? Yeah? Well, if at all you have good intentions, why would you remove nutrients to go back and add nutrients? That way. Again, another reason. Your grandfather used to ferment that wheat. Now imagine, even though that wheat had starch, your grandfather knew and understood the assignment. He fermented it before consuming it. Fermentation, everything that is fermented is good. Why? Because fermentation, the bacteria in that product will consume the sugar and they will give you lactic acid in return. So fermentation processes actually destroy the sugar. They destroy the sugar. So this is the beauty about it. So your grandfather understood this. And that's why even his porridge that was for the sorghum and whatever, he used to ferment it. Do you ferment yours? You're buying a processed product, and just sit back and enjoy this, because soon you will see they will come out with the wheat product, wheat flour that is written on fermented already. That now it has to come from the industry when it's already fermented. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So no nutrients, fermentation was part of that, but then We compare ourselves with our grandfathers, but we know very well that our grandfathers were a step ahead of us. These are people who used to eat 1 meal a day. They were so lean and tall. These are people who had multiple wives and they still satisfied these wives. They still gave them children. You don't even have a wife, but you're unable to satisfy a girlfriend. But you're telling me, my grandfather used to eat wheat. Used to eat wheat. That is your grandfather. He's even ashamed of you. In 1970s, you would see possibly one person in a whole village with a pot belly. But now, the whole village has a pot belly. If you don't have a pot belly, you're actually considered as a poor person. Okay. So that crossbreeding was a problem. Industrial processing is a problem. Fermentation, absence of fermentation is another problem. Removing all the nutrients and then lying to they have fortified is a problem. And that's how it became a serious problem. Now, before I jump to the next, let me take you through something here. These are points that you should note. The dangers of wheat. Number one, gluten. What is the problem with gluten? Gluten is highly inflammatory to the gut. You see, this is a gut wall. And this gut wall is supposed to be as intact as possible. Okay? So, on the lining of the gut, so this inside here is the stomach, and outside here is the outside stomach. So here we have the blood vessels, and then we have the lymphatic system. So that anything that you absorb from the gut is taken into the blood vessel and carried all the way to the liver for metabolism. Now, when you eat those seed oils, you open up the gut wall, perforation, because of the radicals. When you eat that wheat, you open up the gut wall. You cause a celiac disease. When you eat that sugar, you open up that wall. When you use those antacids, you open up that wall. When you neutralize stomach acid, you open up this wall. And now stomach content are exposed to the immune system. Therefore, anytime you eat that egg, the egg white particles seep through this celiac wall, this wall that is leaking, and encounter the immune system. And the immune system knows that this is a foreign thing, so it targets it, hits it hard. That hitting hard is what you see on the skin, and then you call it protein allergies because your doctor was brainwashed to think that is protein allergies. So most of you are actually suffering from wheat intoxication, and you're thinking this is protein allergies. How many people have I gotten off the wheat and then now they're enjoying their eggs and they're wondering, from the time I was 5 years old, I was told not to eat wheat, not to eat eggs because eggs cause me allergies. I have avoided fish because if I eat fish, I get the pimples and the acne. And then I tell them, no, the problem is not even the eggs or the fish. The problem is you're using cooking oils that are inflammatory to the gut. You're eating wheat and you're an addict to wheat. You're taking antacids and antibiotics all the time. So your gut integrity, the integrity of the wall of the gut is actually messed up already. Now, anything that you eat is actually exposed to the immune system. So you're just lucky. And this is where autoimmune conditions start from. So wheat is actually number one of the causes of autoimmune conditions. But what does the doctor say about autoimmune? He just tells you it's your immune system targeting your own tissues. You think your body is stupid that one day it just wakes up and starts killing its own cells. Do you think how that's how you're designed? That the liver can just wake up and produce antibodies that are killing the heart, that are killing the brain from nowhere? It starts here, and when I tell you you're actually causing problems by inflaming your gut, go fix your gut. You start asking me, how do I fix the gut? There's a video about fixing gut on the internet. I put it there specifically for you. I tell you to fast, you tell me, I will faint, but you're asking me how to fix the gut. So how do I help? Amazing, right? So that is number one. Gluten is highly inflammatory, causes you gluten intolerance, and causes you a celiac disease. That is where you get nutrient deficiencies. And you see, the gut wall is supposed to be intact for you to absorb nutrients optimally. But if the gut wall is open, you cannot even absorb those minerals, those nutrients. And by the time this gut wall is opening up, that means your stomach acid is weakly acidic. It's actually headed towards the neutral pH. So the pH is high. It is supposed to be low. So this means you cannot even be able to digest protein because you need a strong acid in the stomach to digest protein. Now, if you cannot digest protein, you cannot release amino acids. So therefore, again, you're absorbing minimal, suboptimally, very minimal amounts of these minerals and nutrients and amino acids. And these amino acids are supposed to make hormones, to formulate hormones that will regulate biological functions like sleep. Now you end up having indigestion, you end up having constipation, you end up having mineral deficiencies. Now you need a supplement. You end up having insomnia, and they give you other supplements for sleep, but they have not fixed your gut. So the sleep will not be there. So the faster you fix the gut, the better for you. I hope that has sunk. Mineral deficiencies come as a result of wheat products, nutrient deficiencies, insomnia, mental health conditions. You're messing up the gut. So blame it on the wheat. Stop blaming it on the meat. Anything that you're seeing on the skin, that bad skin, those pimples, that acne, is actually a messed up gut. So go fix the gut. And you can use as much skin products as you can. You can use as much antidepressants as you want, but you will never change the situation of the gut. If you don't fix the gut, simply remember there's a direct relationship between the gut and the brain, and the gut and the skin. So the earlier you fix the gut, the better. Again, before I move on the wheat, so you already realized wheat gives you intolerance, the celiac disease. Wheat gives you mineral deficiencies. Wheat gives you skin problems, and protein allergies. Put that protein allergies in quotes. But above all, wheat comes with phytates and phytic acid. These are anti-nutrients that actually block the absorption of healthy nutrients. Magnesium, the minerals also, magnesium, zinc, amino acids, and all that. So it actually blocks. So you cannot even digest or process these foods in the gut well. You are also limiting yourself from absorbing them because wheat blocks the absorption of healthy nutrients. So imagine that disaster. You cannot process the food, you cannot absorb healthy nutrients, and then you're suffering from a leaky gut. Aye, a lot of problems, man. Chapati, aye, ata brown bread, wacheni nayo tu. Above all, do you know why wheat is so addictive? Because most people cannot drop wheat. You will drop chapati, but you still eat cakes. You will drop a cake, but you're still eating spaghetti. And that's how the food industry is interesting. It makes varieties. So that even when you're eating that cake, you're not even thinking that this is wheat. Even when you're eating that spaghetti, your mind does not focus that this is wheat. You're thinking, this is spaghetti, I've made it. When you go to that pizza to eat that pizza in to eat that pizza, you don't even know that this is wheat. You're thinking, no, pizza is pizza. Pizza is not wheat. You're not even thinking in that direction, so you cannot even give it the attention that it requires. By the time you're eating biscuits, you don't even know they're wheat. Okay? Yeah, by the time you're eating those mandazis that are actually, they look good and they have cracked. You know that mandazi that is just golden brown and it has cracked. And you eat them when they are still hot. You can eat a whole basin of mandazis. A whole bale of mandazis just going into your stomach. And then the next minute, you're so bloated. The next thing, gastritis is actually killing you, and now you have to go and take omeprazole. You know very well these things, right? When I was a child, we used to fight for that crunchy part of the bread, that last slice of the bread with my siblings. We want that one. That one is the bigger one, is the most. Your children are dipping it in tea. Because that was the behavior. You dip. There are adults who even dip bread still up to now. They dip bread in tea. And you know, these things were so amazing when you were a kid. Dipping bread in tea. Yeah. That was so awesome. So anyway, as I end up this, I'll tell you that the wheat is addictive because one, is a simple carbohydrate, so it causes a spike in insulin, takes you into hypoglycemia, you crave for more wheat. That is one. Number two, wheat has things that are called exophins. Now, your body internally produces natural painkillers and hormones that make you feel good about life. These are the hormones that you produce after sex, after an achievement, after eating sugar and wheat. From inside, they are called endorphins. Endo from inside. These endorphins, they go into the brain and they stimulate the receptors that are called mu receptors, mu receptors. Those receptors are the same receptors that are stimulated by drugs that kill pain. Remember when we talked about narcotics? The morphine, the pethidine, the tramadol. They stimulate the mu receptors to give you euphoria, you feel good, and then they suppress pain. You remember that? They don't even kill the pain. They actually change your perspective of pain so that you now feel euphoric and you forget you had the pain. This is the same thing that exophins in wheat, they are called gliadins. This is the same thing they do. What they come in, and when they come in, they stimulate these mu receptors. When they stimulate these mu receptors, they give you a euphoric feeling. So you feel good about that wheat. And that's why you're addicted to chapati from one center. If that guy did not cook those chapatis, you are so angry. If Mama Fulani did not make those chapatis, you don't want them. So they give you a feel good. That effect of feeling good and euphoric gives you addicted to this wheat. So one, a simple carbohydrate problems. Two, stimulates the mu receptors in the brain to give you a fake feeling of high. And that fake feeling of high is brought down so fast that you need more. It's like smoking cigarettes. This guy can get so angry right now, but give him one cigarette. He smokes, is the best person you can ever interact with. He's now just flipped from anger to this loving guy, this father, teaching you about life. But then that nicotine is broken down so fast, boom, he wants another cigarette. If you don't top it up, problems. And he can be very violent. This is the same thing that happens with wheat. And that's why most ladies have suffered the consequences of men telling them that if you cannot cook good chapati, you're not a wife material. Yeah. Males. So now, being a wife material is not even about character. It's now about cooking chapati. Yeah. And then now she cooks those chapatis for you. And then now the next thing is, 1 year, 2 years into that marriage, you are unable to erect. And now you still want her to call you husband material. Yeah? Husband material now, right? 2 years down the line, you ate yourself chapatis, you're now belching like crazy, your pot belly is there, estrogen is going up, no erection, no sperm count, very poor quality sperm, and now you want to be called the man, just because you still buy the wheat flour, right? Well. Anyway, let's take a break and let's talk about let's market these platforms. I exist as Health and Wellness Spot on YouTube. The same exists on TikTok. I exist as Lewis Muchile on Facebook. I exist as Health and Wellness Spot on Telegram. So 3 platforms exist as Health and Wellness Spot: Telegram, YouTube, and TikTok. Please follow those platforms. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's make it 30,000 by the end of the month. We are at 29,100. Let's make it 30,000 by the end of the month. And I'll be glad to make it 29,300 by the time we are ending this live. Because 300 people and 35 people are on TikTok live right now. If you just rush to my YouTube Health and Wellness Spot and press that red button and press the bell, you'll get this information for free. You can also join my Telegram channel, Health and Wellness Spot. Let it act as your support group. I shout out to each and every one of you who has sent us gifts, who has sent us tokens of appreciation, who has bought our fermented cabbages. Amazingly, we are bringing you roasted coffee. Woo! Roasted coffee is coming your way. Remember, in our markets, we have fermented cabbage. So do not be lied to by anybody that there's any other product from us. We are only providing fermented cabbages. We are providing roasted coffee. And we're going to provide tallow. Okay? This is sheep tallow. Is it sheep tallow or sheep lard? Sheep lard. Sheep yawa. So yes, so there'll be tallow, there'll be roasted coffee, and there'll be fermented cabbage. Those are the only products that our Health and Wellness Spot is going to market, and they are our own products. Okay? I know there's a page on Instagram that exists as Health and Wellness Spot. A lie. You can easily see my handwriting in anything I do, right? It's easy to see that. So those of you who are interested in these products, coffee will be, I think, in Nairobi in about a month's time. So will be the aka lard or tallow, whatever you choose to call it. But I call it tallow. It's from the sheep tail. They will be available in Nairobi in a month's time. But the cabbages are there, so you can go to Imenti House, first floor, shop number 60. Brian will be there to give you all the information about fermented cabbage and then serve you the best fermented cabbage that ever exists. And those of you who have taken it, they keep on coming back. Is it that addictive? Is it that addictive? Thank you so much for supporting us through buying our merchandise and all that. Thank you so much. Again, our physical consultations are going to start on 30th of this month all the way to the 9th day of August. That will happen in Nairobi. We have our offices in Nairobi, so you can come over for the physical consultations. Start booking your consultations as early as this. I'm providing the contact here, and 0707074722. That is our contact for the physical consultations. Also, the online consultations are still ongoing, so we consult you online through video calls every single day in the evening when I'm out of work. So you can book your physical and online appointment through the same contact. That's my office contact. Our working hours are from 8 a.m. all the way to around 6:30 in the evening. Beyond that, you can only text, not call, okay? We will respond to you. Thank you for that. We have another thing that is going to happen the next month. Those of you who want to join the weight loss program that runs for 3 months, we start on the 15th of August to run for 3 months. Okay, there are 2 more groups that are still ongoing. One for 3 months, the other one for 2 months. That started this month. So next month we're starting another one that runs for 3 months. So each and every month we have our weight loss program running. So you can join any of those. Now, what else did I want to say? Yeah, so be part of that, the physical consultations. Bring those people on board. Let's have these conversations. They are life-changing. You can simply book those online consultations. Let's do what we have to do the best, okay? Good, so that was wheat. Any question about wheat, you can address it right now so that I can answer it, and then we proceed. Somebody saying the busted mandazis are crazy. Trust me, you can sit there on that next to that jiko and you eat those mandazis and you're like, where? Yeah. They are so golden brown and they're just cracking. When you put in some good yeast, they just crack. And when they crack, you're like, this one, I'm not leaving it. And imagine your child starts to feed on those mandazis by the time they are 1 year. Even 6 months, you're giving them mandazi to dip in tea. Hey. Halima Hussein, I tried to make fermented cabbage, but hiyo harufu ilinishinda. Ooh. Yeah, it's not easy. Could it be the reason why most people still come back to take the fermented cabbage from us? Because I've taught you how to make the fermented cabbages. I've served you, so you cannot say you don't have the tins, because I say when I send the package, I send plus the tins, so you can make your own. But most of you don't want to make it, right? Again, it's amazing. Our cabbages are just awesome. They're something else. Sometimes I eat and I'm like, hey, okay. Eh? Dog, what are you drinking now? Water that has some salt. It's just water that has some salt. Good. For the cabbage fermented, we need delivery, please. Yes, but delivery is on you. I've put out the pickup points at Imenti House and in Lavington, in Mbaazi. So those are the 2 places where we have our pickup points. But you can call the office to get an order. They will send you the number to Brian, who is at Imenti House. He can organize the delivery for you. But you see, that delivery will pay for it. Okay? Yeah, you don't expect me to put them in Imenti House and then send them to you and then pay the delivery. You'll agree with the delivery guy, depending on where you are. How long does someone need to take the fermented cabbage after fermentation? You can take it as long as you wish. As long as after taking it, you close it tightly so that air does not get in. The more it ferments, the better. How do I join the weight loss program? That is the contact there. You can use it. Anyway, let's continue. Let us keep moving. Number 2, after the wheat. Questions about wheat are the ones that I would like to answer. Number 2, we have the fruits. This is where most of us fall prey, right? We fall totally. This is where most of you fall. Now listen. Fruits were never a problem again. They were never a problem. Remember when you're growing up, fruits used to be very bitter. We used to eat mangoes with salt. Remember that? Yeah? When they are still unripe, you take mangoes and you eat plus salt. How much of that would you eat? And you still go out and play. You still used to do activities. And I remember sometimes you used to come back home, we don't even take lunch. And sometimes you'd run on a cup of uji, just fermented porridge, the whole day. But nowadays, your children are in school. They're picked by a car, a van on the gate at 6 in the morning. They sleep in the van. They are in school. They're eating all these sausages and smokies because you're a modern parent. And by the time they're leaving the house, they just ate bread plus margarine applied on bread plus the peanut butter and tea that has milk, the thick tea plus sugar. So by the time they're getting to school, of course, their sugar levels are so high, their insulin level is going up. That's why your children are just suffering from this diabetes all the time. Very young children being diagnosed with diabetes. But fruits are the craziest one, because fruits fool doctors and nutritionists that they don't spike insulin. Let's start afresh. A fruit was never a problem. All fruits, including the traditional fruits, they had fructose. They had it. But the problem is, or the benefit of the traditional fruits was, one, they had a lot of fiber. So overeating that fruit was never an option. You would eat a mango and the whole afternoon you're busy getting the fibers from your teeth. Number two, that mango you would fall down and by the next day it's already rotting. It was actually consumed by birds sometimes. Number three, so they used to get bad. They used to attract birds and attract flies. They had seeds. I remember we used to eat a mango until we removed that hard cover on the seed to just see if the seed was female or male. Did you do that? There are seeds that have a red spot there. We are like, this one is a female one. Hey, okay. Hey, kids are crazy. Anyway, so yeah, so these fruits used to go bad so fast. You remember avocados could fall from a tree, and we share avocados with dogs. And before you go even pick them, the next morning they are rotting. So yes, so avocados, mangoes, guavas, all of them had seeds. So they actually germinated on their own. All of them were natural. Nobody cultivated guavas. Unless you ate so much guavas here and tomorrow you have a constipation and you have to go and defecate in a bush. And now that is you planting more guavas. So they had seeds. They used to go bad. They used to attract flies, bees, and birds. They were not as attractive as nowadays. They were not as sweet as nowadays until they are so ripe, right? And there was a process of ripening. There's no way you would have just found the entire fruit is red or is yellow and looks so attractive and is so juicy. And then they were seasonal. You eat mangoes now and you'll eat them next year time like this, right? But look at you now. At your gate, there's a guy with this cart, mkokoteni, selling fruits. They have been wrapped in polythene paper. They are looking so fresh. And then he pours some water on it. Even the supermarkets, they sprinkle water on these fruits so that they appear fresh. They have been commercially cultivated to suit the agenda. You know that company that is in Thika that produces juices? The one that you think produces pineapple juice. Those pineapples that are in Thika, you want to tell me they're the ones that are enough to supply the entire Africa with juice? Are we not taking something different? And then it's written on mango juice, pineapple juice. Where are they getting all these mangoes? And mangoes are supposed to be seasonal. Where are they getting it from? And for you to supply the demand, because now Africans are so addicted to sugar, for you to satisfy the demand that is coming from these Africans, because there are many, you want to tell me those pineapples that are in Thika are the only ones that are supplying the whole Africa and the whole world, to be honest. Where are they getting the mangoes from? And mangoes are supposed to be seasonal. When you start asking yourself these questions, you see the answers, but you don't take that route. There are answers there. Yes, they provide different brands. Today is this one, tomorrow is this one, tomorrow is another one, there's another one. And you see the advertisement on TV. They cut them into small pieces, and those small pieces just fall. When they drop into that juice, it peels off, and you're like, I want this one. This one is pure pineapple. And they've drawn a pineapple there. The same people draw tomatoes on seed oils, but you never see there's no tomato in seed oils. But they call it vegetable oil. So mention any one seed oil that you know that has sukuma wiki in. If that was the case, we'll just plant sukuma wiki and then blend the sukuma wiki and we use it as cooking oil. But we'll talk about that when we get to the seed oils. So fruits are crazy. They are GMO. They are now industrially and commercially cultivated. They are under greenhouses. So it's not a natural process anymore. They don't even have seeds. They are mangoes. They're actually oranges that don't even have seeds. You can just peel it and eat it all. And you people use it for juicing. So even the least fiber that is there, you've removed it to juice, to make a juice. You would have even blended it. Now you've juiced it. There's no even fiber. And they use GMO chemicals, the glyphosate, to spray them. And then because you are so hungry and addicted to these things, what do? They have to ripen them faster to meet your demand. So what do they use? They use calcium carbide, which is a carcinogen. It's actually something that causes cancer, but it's used to ripen bananas nowadays. You see people. It's used to ripen bananas, used to ripen all these fruits, calcium carbide. There's another one that is called ethylene. Ethylene is actually a neurotoxic substance, but that is what we use to ripen these fruits. And then you sit there and you tell me, me, I eat a fruit every day to keep a doctor away. But you're always taking anti-diabetic medication. But you're always suffering from arthritis. There's always back pain. You have an ED. You have allergies all the time. Hey, infection after infection, recurrent yeast infections in women. But you eat fruits every day, right? You use pineapples to clean your vagina. Because your boyfriend is coming in during the weekend. Now you eat pineapples because, of course, you've been eating dirty foods. You have the foul smell. But because you want to run away from that, you want to protect yourself from that because you don't have the shame, you take pineapples, thinking that now, because you urinate urine that smells like a pineapple, your cookie will smell like a pineapple. And now your boyfriend will be, I am eating a pineapple. It is true. He is eating a pineapple. He's not eating. And your boyfriend is making love to a pineapple. That is you leading a fake life. You don't have an identity. So anything that follows, anything that comes, you follow. You've seen how many of you have stuck themselves blending the okra and drinking it. Because you know your weakness, right? You know your weakness, but you don't want to accept that I have a weakness and I have to fix it. So what do? You would rather use anything. You are gullible. So they use this gullible nature of you is actually the ones that makes us sell you the products that you want. Ladies have taken okra water. That thing tastes crazy. Okra is a vegetable, perfect one. It's a cruciferous vegetable. It will actually help you break down estrogen so that it balances your hormones. That is perfect. But that happens to all cruciferous vegetables. You people don't learn. You remember how many of you ate quail eggs? Have you forgotten the quail eggs? Before we even loaded this, we jumped to the okra now. Men, the other side, are taking uji power, filled with sildenafil, the erection pills, and they are now coming there, performing for about 5 minutes, and they're like, I'm going back to that uji power. People playing with your psychology because you're so gullible. So okra has sold. And now before you even load about the okra, now they are taking milk plus soda. Hey, now, you see the dragon fruit. Now dragon fruit is something else. We even forgot about kiwi. Now we are on dragon fruit. 1 kg, 800 shillings. And everybody now is cultivating dragon fruit. By the time you're getting problems with the dragon fruit because of the fructose, you're getting a fatty liver, it is too late. Dragon fruit will be out of the market, so you'll not even blame it anymore. Now there'll be another thing. There'll be another thing. So it's always one thing after the other, but we never learn, do we? We never learn. And you know very well, how many of you eat fruits because they have nutrients, because they have vitamins? Ben, man, the Titan gel. Yes, Ben, let me tell you something. When I was working in Mombasa, people in Mombasa they consume a lot of drugs, these hard drugs and Mira and all that, and they end up having erectile dysfunction. In Mombasa, erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation is the order of the day. Just the same way they talk is the same way they ejaculate. So just that way, it's that way. Mombasa is crazy. And now, somebody saw a business opportunity in Mombasa and came up with a weekend pack. That weekend pack has 3 condoms plus Viagra 50 mg, some have 100 mg, plus lidocaine gel. This is a super package. And then now they tell you to buy an energy drink so that you have the energy to pound the yam because you'll have all the erection. So now, the lidocaine gel You apply it on a penis because you don't erect, and if you erect, you cannot maintain an erection for long. And if you try to maintain an erection, you're ejaculating so fast. So this gel is applied on the shaft of the penis. And what it does is, because it's lidocaine, what it does, it numbs the penis. So you're having an affair with a lady, the sexual experience, but you're not there. Why? Because you don't even have nervous supply towards that shaft. So you're just basically trying to pump her so that she can get her orgasms before you do it. You get yours. So now it numbs the penis so that you cannot even feel the warmth, you cannot feel anything. You're just there, just trying to maintain, because you don't want to get the shame that you're a 1 minute man. So you have a condom, at least for that one, they play it safe. Now they have the Viagra 50 mg or 100 mg so that you can get an erection and try to maintain it, but you go into hypotension and you can die in action. And then they give you lidocaine gel to just apply on the shaft so that you don't have the senses, so that you don't ejaculate faster. So this guy was like, this guy was looking at this guy thinking, these guys, they don't erect. But if they erect, they end up again having problems so fast, they ejaculate so fast. So for us to hold them from ejaculation, because they are chronic masturbators, what do? Let's apply lidocaine gel to numb their penis. No sensations. And then what do we do else? Let's give them something to give them an erection. And then let's tell them to take an energy drink. Forgetting that that energy drink is sugar. It's going to cause you a fatty liver, causing you more erection problems. So you'll go back for that kit again. That pack. It was something else, bro. It was something else. Hey, create a problem, then bring a solution. Mombasa. They're lying to you, they're banning Mira and land. So, fruits are crazy because they come with fructose. Most of you don't eat fruits because they have vitamins. Nobody knows the taste of vitamins. All of you eat fruits because they are sweet. If I get that sugar out of that pineapple, if I remove sugar out of that banana, if I get sugar out of that mango, no one of you will eat those fruits. None of you will eat those fruits. You lie to me, fruits are healthy. They're healthy for what? I ask you, what is healthy in fruits? You tell me vitamins. I ask you, which vitamins are in fruits that are absent in vegetables? You're like, by the way. But what is present in fruits that is absent in vegetables? You will never say sugar, and I tell you it is sugar. So as much as you want to protect sugar, I'm telling you the truth. It is sugar that you're eating. So you are actually a sugar addict, but you're in denial. You're using fruits to cover up. Did you know that fructose resembles, in the chemical structure of fructose resembles the chemical structure of ascorbic acid, which you people label as vitamin C, right? There's just a component of vitamin C, just a small component, the covering. But Google the structure of fructose and compare it to the structure of ascorbic acid. You will see what I'm talking about. They look almost the same. And they compete with the same absorption receptors on the gut or in the gut. So listen, your body has always, it is never stupid. It is you who is stupid. So what does the body do? The body takes something that gives it a reward of feeling good and discards the rest. So the body will take fructose, it gets the reward, dopamine comes in, you feel good about eating the fruits because of the dopamine addiction and the hits, and now the body discards the vitamins. And then you're telling me, I'm eating fruits because they are healthy. Why are you not addicted to vegetables? Because the same vegetables have all the nutrients, minerals, vitamins that fruits have. Why are vegetables not your portion? Why don't you eat a cup of vegetables every single day? Why are fruits so important to you? They are not, because they just have sugar. And every fruit has sugar, including the lemon. The lemon juice has sugar. If you're intending to get vitamin C from a lemon, prefer the lemon peel. It has the highest content of vitamin C. It has the highest content of antihistamines. So cut those lemon peels into small pieces and soak them in warm water. Do not use hot water, because hot water destroys vitamin C. Sink them in warm water and let them soak for about 20-30 minutes and drink that water. That is your vitamin C. Anybody who's trying to lose weight, you're eating fruits. Anybody who's trying to reverse a chronic condition, you're eating fruits, you're wasting your time, you're going to get worse. And now, I want to read to you something here, and I want you to understand it very clearly. The reason why doctors and nutritionists lie to you that fruits are healthy is because one, they were taught that fruits have vitamins. Just the same way they were taught beans are carbohydrates, beans are proteins, and they have stuck to that all through. Beans are carbohydrates. Whatever you are taught in primary school sticks in you like crazy. Oh, beans are proteins. Beans are proteins. I'm like, no, beans have 65% of fiber. No, no, daktari, if I eat rice and beans, I've eaten a balanced diet. I'm like, okay, continue eating it. We will meet here. Hapa mbele tutapatana tu. So, this is the point. Doctors and nutritionists think that foods are healthy because they do not cause a spike in insulin. The sugar that is in fruits, the fructose, does not cause a spike in insulin in blood. Very true. And then they say fruits have the least or the lowest glycemic index. Question marks. Question marks. And I will define that. But understand this, when you take that fruit, you absorb the fructose, which is the sugar. Fructose is not utilized by any cell. They don't know how to utilize it. Brain cells don't know how to utilize it. Your muscle cells don't know how to utilize it. The only cells that can actually transform fructose are the liver cells. So when you absorb it, it's taken all the way to the liver and is converted to things that are called the triglycerides. On the word triglycerides, these are basically body or blood fats. These are fats. These are the ones that you confuse with cholesterol. These are the ones that hurt your system, and then you lie that cholesterol is the problem. So your doctor still thinks that cholesterol is a problem because the industry made him believe that fruits are healthy, because the industry knows the end result of breaking down fructose is fats, and those fats are triglycerides. That's why when you take that cholesterol test, you will never focus on the triglyceride ratio. You will always focus on the LDL and HDL, even after I explained it, and I will do it again. And I hope I can do this on Friday. But anyway, so you never focus on the triglycerides. What you are focusing on is the LDL. When LDL is up, the one that you call the bad cholesterol, when it's up, you are told to start atorvastatin, to start the lipid lowering drugs, the cholesterol lowering drugs that will end you in more trouble. Triglycerides is not cholesterol. Triglycerides is a result of breaking down fructose to get triglycerides. Now these are fats. So remember, this is happening in the liver. And the liver does not know how to store fats. So what does the liver do? It has to send these fats into the system to go and be stored in the fat cells. So it binds them on LDL, puts them in a vehicle that is soluble in blood, that is LDL, to carry them into the fat cells. But as you eat those fruits on a daily basis, as you eat that processed food, as you eat that sugarcane every day, you are getting the fructose. This fructose is being converted to triglycerides, and the liver starts to accumulate these fats slowly and carefully. This is what we call non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. You see, we have the alcoholic one that comes from beer, and then we have this one, the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease that comes from the processed foods, sugarcane, honey, and fruits. Now, you know very well that the fatty liver disease is the one that is responsible for obesity, diabetes type 2, hypertension, high fats in the system, cancers, kidney failure, and heart disease, and the strokes. But you want to blame it on cholesterol. That actually comes in to fix the problems that this sugar is causing you, the systemic inflammation. So imagine that guy who I told you, the doctor told him that because he has hepatitis, he has to eat fruits and he has to eat honey. So simply feed the disease and go back to the doctor. That's what the doctor is saying. Keep eating the sugar that caused you the problem and then come back. Because as he eats those fruits and honey, the liver keeps on being fatty. There's no way this guy is going to survive from hepatitis. Fats are highly inflammatory. Then when you inflame the liver with fat, that's hepatitis and that's a fatty liver disease. The next thing that is coming in is low immunity, is weak bones, is low blood count, is heart diseases and obesity. And you're wondering, how am I not losing weight? It's diabetes. You're wondering, I've been eating fruits all this time, but I've never walked away from the drugs for diabetes. Because fruits are actually feeding diabetes. The only fruit that you can consume at this moment in time, and when you're trying to lose weight, is an avocado. Is an avocado. There's a guy on TikTok that I whipped him one day when he was saying that, calories are the same and blah, blah, blah and all that. And I saw him, I was sent a video of him saying that, if you're losing weight, don't worry about fruits as long as you eat within your caloric level. I'm like, who the hell has machines to measure calories every other time? You're measuring how much calories I'm taking in. Who does that? The entire population. This is a guy who talks with clogged nose. He appears to be fit, but he has clogged nose and he's struggling. Fruits, fruits. I'm like, yeah. Some of those videos just don't tag me. Fruits, when you're trying to lose weight, when you're trying to reverse metabolic conditions, stay away from fruits except avocado. Be wise. You will learn. You don't need fats at this moment in time. Dietary fats. These are some fruits. The talk of fruits. Those are even. That's not cholesterol. That is triglycerides. And triglycerides are dangerous to your system. That is one. Two, fructose is converted to uric acid, and then this uric acid, this same fructose is sugar. Remember, and sugar destroys the kidneys. So therefore, you'll have a problem in excreting the uric acid through the kidneys. When you have a problem in excreting uric acid builds up in the system. Now that is gout, because it precipitates in joints and causes you that pain. That is gout. But doctor said what? Gout is caused by what? Hello? What is the doctor saying? Doctor, hello, doctor, yeah? Rheumatologists and gout specialists. What are you saying? Red meat, right? I didn't hear you guys. Mr. Rheumatologist said red meat, right? And you've dropped red meat, but your gout is not going anywhere. But it still comes and writes a prescription, colchicine, allopurinol. You know, this one will help you. This one is going to change you. This one is going, and a painkiller. And those painkillers are NSAIDs. You remember when you talked about NSAIDs? We said they are going to destroy your kidney. So more problems, more gout. But because he's a rheumatologist, can you tell him anything? I mean, you can't. You are the patient. He's the rheumatologist. He's the doctor. One day. So stay away from fruits. And this is the problem. When you tell somebody stay away from fruits except avocado, somebody still asks you, how about watermelon? Is watermelon fish? How about the dragon fruit? Now dragon fruit comes from, hey, where does it come? Is it a fruit? It is a fruit. Your grandfather used to eat fruits now and then eats them after a year. They have been washed out of the system because he did 1 meal a day, so fasting was very necessary for him, clearing the fats. He used to eat meats, hunter and gatherer. He used to eat seasonal fruits. And you know, fruits had a way of punishing you. If you eat guavas, excess guavas, what do you get? Constipation. So you learn your lesson. And I remember when you're eating zambarao. Do you know zambarao? When you're eating zambarao, our parents would warn us, if you end up overeating it and swallowing the seeds, the tree will grow on your head. How many of you can relate to that? I know Gen Z's, this one is this one is yeah, they warn you, they tell you, you will grow a whole tree on your head. And you just imagine a whole tree on my head. You will not eat much of them. Well, anyway, let's talk about the final one. So, before I even talk about the final one, I was about to talk to you about something called the glycemic index and the fructose index. Now, you see, in blood, when you eat carbohydrates, you get the glucose. Glucose goes up in blood, and then insulin goes up. That spike in glucose, the faster it spikes, that's what we call the glycemic index. So listen to the definition of the glycemic index. It is the measure of how quick carbohydrates in food raise blood glucose levels after eating. It is the measure of how quick carbohydrates raise blood sugars after eating these carbohydrates. So glycemic index is about the glucose. So how fast these carbohydrates that you've eaten, including those fruits, will raise your blood glucose. Now, your nutritionist will tell you that fruits have the lowest glycemic index. Very true. But he is ignorant because fructose is not glucose. So there's no way you can measure glycemic index using fructose. Glycemic index is for glucose. It's not for fructose. Fructose has a fructose index. How about ukwaju? Ukwaju is awesome. You know, ukwaju, you cannot even overeat it. The feeling in your mouth, that jittery feeling will make you, but ukwaju is very good. It's an awesome one. I mean, who can actually make a GMO of ukwaju? Who can ripen ukwaju? Nobody. Enjoy ukwaju. But is ukwaju a fruit or something? I don't know. Is it a fruit? Tamarind, is it a fruit? Those of you who know this classification. Anyway, fructose index. Listen to this. We are comparing the two. Fructose index. Dates have sugar, drop dates. The impact of fructose on blood sugar levels. So imagine you measuring the glycemic index of fruits using fructose. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Fructose is this side, glucose is that side. Now, fructose will not cause you a spike in insulin or blood glucose because it's not glucose, it's fructose, for heaven's sake. Common sense. Daktari, nutritionist, common sense. So fructose will not cause that spike in insulin because it's not glucose. But this fructose is going to be converted to fats in the liver, and later on it will give you a fatty liver that will actually cause you insulin resistance. Insulin resistance basically means you have high insulin and high glucose in blood. So on the long term, at the end of this chain, fructose will still give you high insulin in terms of insulin resistance. So it is a waste of time. It only that this one takes time. It takes time before you get the fatty liver and get the insulin resistance. But this other one, at least for glucose, if you get that spike in glucose, it can be pumped into the cells and it will be used as energy. And you can work out and clear the glucose. But these fats, which are causing you a fatty liver disease, that's another whole process of fighting a fatty liver disease. So when your doctor is telling you, fruits have a low glycemic index, tell him, Daktari, but fructose and glucose are not the same. That is one. Number two, Daktari, fructose structure, because they are the ones who went to a biochemistry class. Tell them fructose structure and vitamin C are the same, almost the same. So they compete for the same receptors of absorption in the gut. So then the body cannot take vitamin C and discard fructose when it knows that fructose gives that reward of feeling good. So tell me about these things. Now wait and see how your doctor sat near the window in a biochemistry class. Some of the units or some of the courses, like I understand nutrition, basically maybe nursing and all this, they cover very limited biochemistry. But pharmacy, medicine, those who do biochemistry as a course, these people have covered a lot of biochemistry and they cannot come out and say they don't understand these things. But even nutritionists, even nurses, they still study glycolysis, they still study lipolysis and gluconeogenesis and fructose metabolism. These are things that are done as a preclinical unit first year. First year, first sem, first year, second semester, maybe second year, first semester, the preclinical units. Metabolism is part of it. Metabolism 1 and metabolism 2. But because you didn't see how biochemistry is related to me going and telling people to eat fruits. You don't see how biochemistry is related to surgery. How biochemistry is related to 2 times 3 as a pharmacist. You want the deeper stuff so that people know that you're a doctor and they fear you. But they fear you, but Daktari, in between the ears, kidogo, let's not fear you. Allow us to respect you because of what you share, not because of the fear that you're a doctor and I'm a client. No. We want to challenge you, Daktari. And nurses and nutritionists on this platform, students, challenge those people. Challenge anybody in the medical field. Remember, you're not there to exercise power between you and the MOs and the CEOs and all over. There's a lot of fights and war between professionals in healthcare systems. Doctors fighting pharmacists, pharmacists fighting nurses, nurses fighting nutritionists, nutritionists fighting CEOs. Who is better than who? And then we end up losing the point. So if you're better than somebody else, so what? Have you healed the patient just because you have a title? Have you changed the life of that patient who is our client just because you are an MO or you are a CO or you are a pharmaceutical technologist or you are a pharmacist? Have you changed that? Because our oath says that everything we do is for the benefit of this client. And our clients are patients. So everything that we do, we put our goals aside, we focus on the patient, and when the patient gets better, our arguments, we can take them in the boardrooms. But go to the ward rounds and see what doctors are doing. Wale wako huko mbele kwa ward rounds are the ones who have wako na kiburi. They will lead that ward round and you will listen, whether they have an idea or they don't have an idea. And now, even the students who are coming in as interns are even afraid of asking questions on a ward round, because if you ask a question and that question your consultant is unable to answer, and you can imagine this question, he is unable to answer this question in front of that patient, that becomes a problem. Of course, it looks disrespectful to ask somebody a question, but you see, you want the information. That's the reason why we have a ward round. We are here to share ideas so that we come up with a decision or an option that is best suited for the recovery of this patient. We cannot come here for a ward round and still sing. Where is the nutritionist? And what is the dietary modification for this? Let's give him fruits. You sing the same things and you write, Niliona, I saw the nutrition part on ward, on those files in the ward, I swear they write the same things Monday to Monday. I even wonder, like, hey, they tell patients to change from solid cooking oil to the liquid cooking oil. Yani, wachana na Kimbo, tumia Elianto. And then they say, stay away from salt. Prefer cooked salt. These are things I wish I can just take pictures and send to you these things. You will get to know, and I'm saying the things that are true. Prefer brown bread. Hey. Ay. And sometimes you just sit in that water and you're like, ay. But because you cannot say anything, because of course the consultant is there, an old man with his spectacles, with this an iron lab coat, he looks very presentable and very clean and smart. If only that smartness would be transformed into changing a patient's life and not transformed into getting the ego in front of a patient. Health will not be an industry. Health will be our business, not our industry. Anyway, I am done with the fruits. I will head straight to the seed oils. But unless there's a question, I can answer it, then we continue. So do not make health. Interns who are coming in, be very vigilant, ask those questions. Do not make health to be an industry. Make African people's health to be your business. Work tirelessly and the results will come. Listen, I think the health courses are not supposed to be professions anymore. We're not supposed to even be professional. We're supposed to be, it's a calling for us. Health is a calling, it's not a profession anymore. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. It is not you don't go there for the money, because you'll be frustrated, because the society expects you to drive a certain type of car. It expects you to have children in private schools. You must have a certain type of building or house. You must live a certain way. Even walking is a criminal offense to a doctor. That's why they'd rather sit in that car and smoke that cigarette, because they want a status quo. They want to conform to that status quo. Doctors don't walk. They'd rather wake up early to run about 1 kilometer and then come back and they say they've exercised. Now, these are the same people who are lazy and they're telling a patient how to recover by exercising. I'm looking at you, I'm thinking, hii exercise ni ya mgonjwa tu. Daktari hawezi exercise. Now, it's getting to a point where we are going to run away from every single doctor who is not taking care of himself. Because how can you trust a fat doctor with your health when he cannot trust himself with his own health? We are going to make sure that every single doctor who is a qualified doctor and has a title, or every single health practitioner, is fit. And now, I know they will hate me for this. They already did. But you see, you'd rather hate me, because if you hate me, you become just like me. So it becomes easier for me to handle you when you're like me. Okay? Because when you hate me, I have that identity of you, as I can control you through that identity. I will actually upset you even more. If you get upset by what I share, as a doctor, as a professional of health, if you get upset by what I share, you are actually on the wrong side. You are on the wrong side. Stop telling us to eat brown chapati. Stop telling us to eat fruits and fruits are healthy. Change. You learn biochemistry for a reason. Practice it. Practice it. What are you scared of? You're scared of losing clients because today, if you wake up tomorrow and tell them you don't eat fruits and fruits are unhealthy, and you've been telling them to eat fruits for 10 years, they will start being crazy. They'll start getting mad. Yes, let them get mad, but let them get the truth. Some of you are stuck in that cocoon of just being afraid. You're stuck in a cocoon and you're so much afraid that if I say something different, my clients will run away, because you're running a private clinic. And you're thinking, because of ego, you've been doing these things for 20 years. You've crammed them. They are now part of your life. But just a simple change that will change the patient's life, you don't want to do it. You would rather take those diabetes medication as a doctor yourself and feel comfortable in that, because you don't want to change, so that this patient will think, daktari amechange na ananiambia kitu tofauti. You'd rather walk into a bar and drink with your patients. How many of your doctors drink with you alcohol? How many of your doctors don't even encourage you to fast because they cannot fast? Now, I think hata hii topic wacha niachie hapo. I'll postpone the other one to Friday. Friday I'll go and talk about seed oils and I'll talk about sugar. Those two. Then I close it there. So today I just talked about the wheat products and then the fruits. So the rest we'll talk about it on Friday. I think my time is even up. I'll take about 2 calls and then we call it a night. Some doctors are watching quietly. They always watch quietly. They are always watching quietly. Trust me. They are, and then they go ahead and criticize. You know, doctor. You know that Dr. Lay is what he says. No. I agree, but you agree, but what? Bring a conversation. Evans, nice one, doc. I know one fat doctor. Imagine that, and then he's telling you to lose weight to recover from diabetes. Lakini daktari, see, at least kuwa na utu hata wewe kidogo to go and exercise. Eat. If these fruits are healthy, how is it possible that we have all these cases of diabetes going up? How many of you are avoiding red meat, eggs, and your cholesterol is still misbehaving? You drop the eggs, you drop the meat, the fatty meats, you use the liquid oil, and then you go back for a checkup and your cholesterol is still in the roof. And guess what the doctor says? Now, this one is crazy, so what we will do, we will write you a prescription for atorvastatin so that it can lower your cholesterol. But doctor, you told me to drop foods that are rich in cholesterol. I thought if I drop these foods that are rich in cholesterol and eat the fruits, my cholesterol levels will go back to normal. I have dropped them faithfully. I have practiced what you've done, daktari, but nothing is happening. Whatever he says, do not even listen. Change the doctor. Change that doctor. You deserve better. And there are doctors who are doing a good job already. So go find one. Go find one. So yes, so Friday, be prepared for the conversation on Friday. Of course, we'll talk about the seed oils. I'll tell you about the cooking oils and all that. And then we'll talk about sugar in form of carbohydrates. Why should we avoid these things? Why should we limit the carbohydrates and the complex carbohydrates? So that will be an interesting topic on Friday. You don't want to miss that one also. I've cut this short because if I decide to do this, it will go until midnight. You know, I talk so much. Nikiamua kuongea, hey, daktari, you're talking too much, daktari. Too much. You're upsetting some people, daktari. Doc, is it okay to eat carrots every day? You can eat carrots, but you see now you have to know the source of the carrots because most carrots nowadays are GMO. Is there a question here? African girl, there is a wave of using semaglutide in the name of losing weight with tons of side effects just because people are lazy to exercise or change their pantry. Yes, that's true. Actually, so one of you, I think it's Jay Opande, she sent me a document that was saying that the Pharmacy and Poison Board, I don't know if they were like, our regulatory bodies are just crazy. So now, this product, this semaglutide, is actually the one that we call Ozempic. It has been in Kenyan markets for the longest period of time, about 5-10 years or so. And the injection is costing too much. I saw 75,000, I saw 99,000, and this injection is actually messing people. And they're using it to lose weight because, and you see, they use your online and this online influencers to just market these products. But the issues that these people are going through, they are suffering. The side effects of those injections is a problem. You can easily change your kitchen and lose weight. You can easily go to the gym and lose weight by combining the gym, fasting, and eating healthy. But because we don't want the long route, we want to always inject ourselves. You saw that lady marketing Ozempic on her platforms all through. And she's marketing that. She's telling you how she's taking ondansetron, a drug that helps her not to vomit because of the side effects of Ozempic. She's using multiple supplements because she's going into vitamin and nutrient deficiencies. She's still fat, to be honest. And she started with the gastric balloon. It failed terribly. And the same girl, yes, Mary, you know that one. The same lady is eating sausages, eating cookies, drinking yogurt, eating fruits. I'm like, what? Even if she loses the weight, she will come back. It will come back. Because she has not understood anything concerning her hormones, her body, her diet. She has no knowledge of foods and all that. She only knows Ozempic, and that is it. And by the way, that same Ozempic that the Pharmacy and Poisons Board is fighting now is the same Pharmacy and Poisons Board that allowed it and licensed it for marketing in Kenya. So now it has cleared so many people, and now is when they are working up. Like, this one is a problem. The Pharmacy and Poisons Board sometimes wanatubebanga aje. Wanatubebanga aje, Pharmacy and Poisons Board, wanatubebanga aje. They license a drug for use in Kenya. This drug is used. And are they not the same people who actually allowed COVID vaccine to be used? And now they are so silent. But wait until the day they do a crackdown on smaller chemists. They want to hit their chests and they want to show you that they're actually working by harassing these smaller chemists. But those larger pharmacies that are owned by politicians, nothing is happening. They are breaking the rules and nobody's actually coming after them. But wait until the day they say, we have a national crackdown. All they are cracking down is people who are selling paracetamol on the streets, is small chemists. And they want to use them, wacha tuwatumie kama mfano, so that wengine wenu wenye kuna hulka kama za hawa waweze kuelewa. We use these ones as a lesson. No, sir. Target the big fish. You, as the people who are there, you actually have pharmacies that are bigger there and they are breaking the laws. Now you want to tell us that you care about the generations. Now you're telling us, that brand of diclofenac is actually causing problems. That brand of Ozempic is actually causing problems. But you've been here all through. Where were you? You've been here. You are the ones who license these products that are coming from outside to here. You license them before they come inside here. How do you allow counterfeits to come in? You don't have intelligence? Wewe bwana. Doctors recommend antidepressants for erectile dysfunction. Now, erectile dysfunction, if you use antidepressants, you end up getting depression, because one side effect of antidepressants is depression. So you end up having erectile dysfunction. Yeah? And above all, you end up retaining urine. So you have the urge to urinate, but you cannot urinate because antidepressants cause urinary retention. And that's why amitriptyline is actually used in children who bedwet. Your thoughts on taking moringa? Moringa, I've done a research on it. Is awesome. Take it. Hi Doc, please talk about boils. I've talked about boils in a video already on my platform. There's a video on boils, but I'll still do a live on boils. I'll do a live on every video that I've talked about so that you can actually enjoy it and it sinks into your head, okay? Those of us who are abroad, this is Kefa Ogwell, those of us who are abroad, USA and other countries, does healthy foods exist here? Yes, they do, but you have to find them. You see, if you sit in a corner and think that healthy foods will come to you, they will not. America, UK, Canada, these are the countries that are rich. They feed themselves on processed foods. 40% of the population is obese and overweight. And then they dictate nutrition guidelines to us. They have these foods are there, organic foods. In the Mexican markets and Indian markets, you find these organic foods. But the problem is they are expensive in the US. Why? Because they are making them so expensive so that you can actually flag and go and buy these unhealthy foods so that you can come back as a patient. That's what they do all the time. So it's a challenge there. But it's a more challenge in Dubai and all those Arabian countries where people just consume spaghetti, broiler chicken, processed eggs, and all that. Now, TikTok, as usual, the rule is always 100,000, so make it happen. It's 66,000 now. Let's keep going. UK NHS nutrition guideline says bagel is healthy. I saw it on their leaflets. Thugs on I don't understand this. Ali, please request to be in. I want to have a conversation with you. I like it when somebody from those countries come out to just say something. I want you to hear. Please request to be in. How do we ferment wheat, Doc? Why do you need wheat? I just said, Anduku, you don't need to ferment wheat. Wheat nowadays is processed. Wheat nowadays, there is no organic wheat. It is all GMO, the combinations. So why do you need wheat? Stay away from wheat and let wheat go. Don't even think about fermenting it. Ferment, if you want porridge for your child, go and ferment sorghum, millet, and amaranth. But wheat, ngano, wachana. Why would you ferment the starch part? It doesn't have any nutritional value. It is fortified. Somebody is saying, have your own kitchen garden, people. That is African rural girl in America. Please. The essence of this channel is to inspire you so that one day you get to have your own kitchen garden. You even have a ranch. Rear your own animals. Eat your own foods so that the government cannot control you. They are bringing in vaccines for your livestock now. The government is sponsoring these vaccines. What do you think those vaccines have? Stay away from oats. How do we achana kuferment wheat bwana? Good. Let me bring in some people so that you can do some conversations here. The West is crazy. America. Why? I've never seen a confused society like USA.
Yes, Doctor, how are you?
Yes, Ali, how are you?
Yeah, good man. Thank you very much for the information.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, sir. Which country are you in?
I'm in UK. You know, there was one leaflet that was given up by my local doctor.
Yes.
And you know, they have a time. They have a table where they tell people how to eat healthy.
Yes.
And one of them was like a bagel. Bagel is like ultra processed bread or something. It was not even a bread. That's when I realized it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I look at the ingredients. Got like 50 different ingredients in there.
60.
And I was more than 60. I was surprised how they can give their leaflets out to people.
Yeah. And they're labeling it eating
but
healthy.
Yeah, but thank you for the information, because now I've stopped all wheat. I've stopped fruits. I've stopped sugars now. I've stopped, what do you call it? Everything. I only eat meat, fish, basically whole food. I don't even eat oats. I don't eat anything processed.
Yes, bro. Keep eating those food. Bro, protein, animal protein to be specific, is what you need for life. Yes. Plus vegetable thing else from that. It is enough nutrition, bro.
Yeah, and since I've started that, my whole life has changed. My sleeping has gone really well. I don't feel moody at all. Good energy. I wanted to ask you, I do fasting, but it's 20 hours a day enough? Yes. I try to do minimum 18, 19.
Yes, it is enough. Actually, you can actually push to 24 hours. There's no problem. As long as you eat just one meal a day is enough.
I've done my record before. It was 4 days. So I'm trying to go to 5 now or 6.
Amazing.
That's my record, yeah.
But I hope you can. You do rehydrate, right?
Yeah. I take the water with salt, as you said. I watch your videos.
Perfect.
I take a pinch of salt and sea salt with the water, yeah.
Man, keep changing our people there, bro. We actually want you people to go there, find the money, get the money, come and invest here, and come back and stay here, bro.
No, thank you very much. I think the information you're giving is priceless, man. I don't know how to say thank you.
And I appreciate it.
A lot of people are educated, especially me being from Somalia. Our people, they eat bread, pasta, rice every day. We didn't even know how bad these products were. Especially we eat a lot of chapati, injera in the morning. It's crazy,
And the halwa.
Oh my God. I'm lucky. I don't like halwa. That saved my life. Last time I ate halwa was 2005. But that's another one crazy halwa. It's madness.
Hey, bro.
It's just pure sugar.
Somalis with seed oils, wheat products, and sugar, bro. It's crazy.
And by the time our people reach 50, they completely collapse. Their whole body collapse.
Yeah, bro.
Because all this time, they're eating so much. In the morning, they will eat injera with his wheat.
Yeah.
They will eat with seed oil. So they will use they will cook the injera, or what they call it.
Yeah.
With seed oil, and they will use the wheat. It's crazy combination. And then you wonder why by 50, they have leg pain, problem everywhere. And 50 is not even that old to be suffering so many, different health conditions.
Yeah.
And then they will drink tea with sugar all the time. That's even another crazy.
Bro, it's amazing that you came through so that you can speak, bro. Yeah. I work in a society where there are so many Kushites, and there was a video that I put out saying that Somalis and most Kushites, they consume a lot of seed oils, a lot of wheat, and a lot of sugar, and they still run to the pharmacies to buy these antacids and these omeprazoles, saying they have gastritis. And in real sense, they're actually masking symptoms of gastric cancer, and by the time they're being diagnosed of stomach cancer or the colon cancer, it's too late because they've been masking the symptoms with these antacids. And then
you know, I was talking to some Somali platform today.
Yeah.
And I was wondering this question. A lot of Somalis are suffering from gastric problem.
Yeah.
And I was telling one lady, why is it every Somali is suffering from gastric problem?
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember the video you did in the sleeve where you're showing the halwa, they were eating all this crazy stuff. But a lot of people, you know, they be arrogant when you tell them. I was telling them today earlier, you have to stop all this wheat and pasta. But a lot of people don't want to change, you know, they don't want to sacrifice and they, I like it.
Yeah,
so you have to make that change, you have to make that choice, you know.
Man, thank you so much for coming through, bro. I had to bring you in because I understand what is going on those sides. So thank you so much for coming in, bro, and God bless you.
No, thank you very much. I keep the good work and I appreciate them. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Thank you very much, brother. Have a good day, sir.
Amazing. If you did not learn from that gentleman, I brought him intentionally because I knew. I put out a video telling you people, in Eastleigh, Nairobi, every street has a lot of pharmacies. Chemists are opening every single day. And Somali people and the Kusha generation, the Borana, the Burji, the Gari, what they do is, the Rendile, they are so fast to go to the pharmacies and buy antacids and PPIs, the omeprazoles. They call it gastric. Mimi niko na gastric. But bro, these people eat a lot of sugar. They eat a lot of processed foods. They start feeding their children with milk formulas from the time they are 2 months. So women don't like breastfeeding. No wonder a woman can give birth now, and by the time they're getting to the 3rd month, they are again pregnant, because you see, breastfeeding is actually a contraceptive method, active breastfeeding. But they don't. They eat spaghettis and all these processed foods. They even preserve meat in seed oils. They call it nyiri nyiri. They drink a lot of soda. They eat miraa that has been sprayed with glyphosate. And then they use energy drinks. And then when they take coffee in the evening while they're playing their games and just relaxing, go to Eastleigh and see how much sugar is being added in tea. They love tea. Somalis love tea. But tea that has milk, but that milk is the milk that is processed. And then they add in a lot of sugar. So they tell you they love tea. They don't love tea, they love sugar. They just use tea as a carrier. They don't love coffee, they add a lot of sugar in coffee. And then for them, they say, maisha ni shauri ya Mungu. Let me tell you, God gave us, each and everyone, us an equal opportunity and equal resources. So it's you to take care of this body. It's not like God gives you a body and then again you want him to take care of that body. He has given you a responsibility on this world to take care of that body. Do it. So it's a problem out here. And then you see, hey, it's crazy. I'm telling you. So you eat all these bad foods, you end up in the pharmacy, take omeprazoles, take antacids, mask the symptoms. Mask the symptoms. Mask the symptoms. By the time you're coming to be diagnosed of gastric cancer, or stomach cancer, or the colon cancer, it is too late. It's a stage 4. We cannot even try to reverse it. Why? Because you're going. We have masked these symptoms for the longest period of time. Taken antacids for how long? But they've even owned it. You know me, niko na gastric yangu. I have my gastric. Yani it's your gastric now. So you're actually comfortable taking omeprazoles. So you'd rather eat the wheat, suffer the consequences of reflux disease, and go ahead and eat wheat. Somali people, it's time for you to change. If you don't change, we will keep on perishing. I rest my case. I rest my case. Yes, business coach.
Yes, this is Dr. Lenny. I'm actually very glad to be part of this evening live show.
Welcome on board, sir.
Now, I've been following you for some good time now.
Yeah.
Really. Myself, I think since 2012,
Yeah.
I made those diet modifications that you've been talking about, and trust me, I've been having very beautiful results.
Yeah.
Actually, with diet, you can reverse many of these diseases with just diet. However, this evening I have one inquiry specifically.
Okay.
About PUD.
Yes.
Peptic ulcer disease. Now, you yourself being a doctor, you realize that, yes, you've killed the Helicobacter pylori, you've killed the bacteria. But then healing the ulcers, you find someone is taking pylokit after pylokit, or they are on these PPIs and antacids for years, but the healing is not there. So if you would kindly help, how you would make these adjustments in order to improve healing of the gut, because as long as the gut is diseased, there is no way you can have hope for a healthy body. If you cannot absorb nutrients, if you cannot excrete, or if you cannot properly take in the nutrients you get from the food, there is no way you can hope for better health.
True.
So specifically, how can we go about PUD? This comes to lifestyle changes, the foods. Now, I've been having news about use of cayenne pepper, fermented cabbage juice, and the likes. I don't know whether you've had an experience in that area on how the healing can take place and how long it could take. Let me listen from you.
Good. Thank you. So for anybody who is suffering from these conditions, I told people this. One, it is useless to try eradicate H. pylori, because you still get H. pylori through food and water. That is one. So therefore, those kits are actually a waste of your precious time. Number two, when you've taken the kit for 2 weeks, what they do is they give you omeprazole or esomeprazole for 1 month, or for 2 weeks or 1 month.
Exactly.
So you continue with that. But this is the point. The point is, H. pylori appreciates a near basic environment, not acidic environment. So H. pylori, when he gets into the stomach and finds the acidic environment, that's a problem. He has to hide, because if he doesn't, he will not survive. He will die. But you see, you've used a kit to try to eradicate H. pylori, and then you've continued suppressing the acid pH in the stomach using these PPIs. So therefore, you're actually creating enough space and enough environment for H. pylori to even proliferate. And that's why you take the kit, and then go take those PPIs, and then still come back after 2 weeks and take a test, and H. pylori is still positive.
Exactly.
Yeah, because when you suppress the acid production, because PPIs actually block the production of the acid, why are you blocking a natural process? Why would you take drugs? Yes, why would you take drugs to block a natural process? That is crazy, because if we are having excess production of the acid, the worst thing we can do is to neutralize the acid, because the reality is, if there is an excess production, there is a mistake somewhere. Fix that mistake. Maybe it's a tumor. Fix the tumor. But if you're fixing the symptoms of the tumor, you're just basically focusing on limiting the production of the acid, you're leaving the tumor to survive.
Exactly.
Because there is no way you can wake up in the morning and your stomach is actually producing excess acid. How did it come to produce excess acid? That must be a tumor or a deformity. So fix the deformity. But when you're trying to fix the symptoms, trying to neutralize the acid and block the production of the acid, you're focusing on the symptoms. So people who have gastritis or who have H. pylori, the things that have disappeared in the diets: cooking oils, seed oils, wheat products, sugar in all forms, alcohol, cigarette smoking. And you can actually make sure that you have a gap of fasting in between your meals, about 8 hours, to concentrate the stomach acid. Once you concentrate the stomach acid, you will destroy H. pylori. You will never suffer from any gut problems, including typhoid, brucellosis, and all this. But people want to take the shortcut. People want to enjoy their own food, the processed foods.
The bad habits.
Yeah, and then blame it on the H. pylori. You see, you cannot these bacteria, they are natural. They have to live with us. So it is us to fix our acid pH, to make it concentrated so that we can survive an attack from these bacteria. But we don't want to work. We don't want to put in the work. We want to blame the bacteria.
And this is a big problem. This is a big problem, and I think for the whole pharmaceutical company and even all the doctors that have trained in School of Medicine, this is what we all go through. You treat PUD for 5 years in the same patient, but you're not getting results.
But it's also the same thing that is happening in the wards. You're treating a patient with the same antibiotics, nothing is happening, but you keep on adding the dosages.
Exactly.
You're treating people who have diabetes with insulin therapy, they're not getting better, but you keep on adding the dose.
Exactly, I loved your take on DM.
Yeah, bro. So it's crazy. I think the medical syllabus is actually designed to actually condition doctors so that they can actually think in a certain direction. We are just thinking guidelines. We cannot think outside the box. Once that happens, they have had us by the balls. So they know they will use us to brainwash and condition the entire masses. Yeah.
So how do we deal with this problem of PUD now? Do we have specific foods or natural remedies that could help heal these ulcers?
For anybody to survive PUD, start by concentrating stomach acid. When you concentrate stomach acid, the gut wall heals on its own because high stomach acid heals inflammation. Remember, your stomach was designed to have an acid. And that acid has never harmed that stomach wall. So where did it start harming the stomach wall? You must concentrate stomach acid by consuming high protein diet. You must have a gap of hours between your meals, about 6 to 8 hours between the meals. You must drop the foods that actually inflame the gut. Don't blame the acid. The acid is supposed to be there. Blame the foods that are actually causing you an inflammation in the gut. And this is the wheat, this is the seed oils, and this is the sugars in all forms, including fruits and honey. Once you've dropped those 3 foods, now it's easy for you to enjoy healthy foods as the gut will heal on its own. You don't heal the gut heals on its own. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
And you're welcome.
So much.
You're welcome, bro. Where are you talking to us from?
I'm really impressed. I'm from Uganda, specifically from the eastern part of Uganda.
Amazing.
I'm actually in office right now. I'm enjoying.
Man, thank you so much, bro. Keep changing lives, bro. Thank you.
Yes, doctor. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
I'm keeping on the line. I'm keeping.
Amazing. Who else loves that? Who else loves it when a doctor comes in and just has a conversation with you? Not coming in to ati wewe uko mbaya, wewe uko wrong. Doctor comes in and shares his insights, and then we have a conversation and we come to an agreement that this is the best way for these people. Because imagine treating gastritis for 5 years, treating H. pylori every kit after kit, and nothing is changing. These are the types of conversations that we want. That was amazing, right? Amazing. And these are people who will actually change the medical perspective totally. These are people who will actually initiate or inject, as we say, the new ways of thinking and the new syllabus. Imagine that we have science evolving every day, but our syllabus is the same. Our medical syllabus is the same. So which science is evolving? Or medicine is not a part of this of science. So we have science evolving, but but the medical syllabus is the same. Amazing, man. Amazing. You thought this is happening in Kenya alone? It's happening all over. The medical syllabus is the same everywhere. Yes, Sumaya, you're my last person.
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm fine also.
Talk to us.
Okay, on the attack of H. pylori, I have a daughter who is now 3.5 years. She was administered and she was told she has H. pylori and she was admitted. And then after admission, she was given antibiotics. And still she was vomiting after even coming from the hospital. I don't know, but still she was given a kit also for just 10 days. But
how old is your daughter?
Finished the 3.5 years.
Huh?
3.5. She was told she has H. pylori and she was admitted.
Hey, my ears are bleeding.
Because sometimes when she's away and going to play and come back, Mama tumbo na niuma, she vomits.
Sumaya, I have a question. What is your cooking oil?
Mine is ng'ombe.
Eh?
Mafuta ya ng'ombe.
Toka lini?
Kitambo tu.
Mtoto wako anakula chapati, mkate, mandazi?
Chapati no, but nakula injera, nakula mkate pia.
Sukari?
Sukari not sukari kwa juice maybe chai.
Make it easier for me. Yes or no? Anakula sukari ama hapana?
No. Yes. Yes. Sorry, yes.
Anakula matunda?
Yeah.
Maziwa ya packet?
Yeah.
Will you breastfeed for how long?
I breastfed her for 1.5 years.
And what are the other foods that she eats? Does she eat noodles?
She eats rice, chapati, ugali. Ugali, mostly rice.
Have you taken time to be on my platform? So it's the first time you're being here.
I was there for not for so long, but I was there.
So this is the first time you're coming on this live?
Yeah, not first time. The third time.
If it's the third time, you will know that there's a video on my YouTube that talks about nutrition in babies and that talks about H. pylori and ulcers. You can learn a lot from that video. Simply go on my YouTube channel and find that video. Nutrition in babies. Do the exact thing to your child.
Okay, then I have another one.
You're only allowed a chance. You're only allowed a chance for one question, and you've deviated. You know, some of you have put all this information on my platforms, but you never take time. You just want to come on a live, and then boom. You just want to come on a live, and then boom, we are having a conversation. But you've never taken time on my platforms. When I ask you to go on my YouTube channel to just see what is there, you don't want to. I ask you to join Telegram. There's all the information that you need there. You don't want to. But you want me to come here and now consult you online. I'm not doing any online consultation right now. Yes, 101.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good. Actually, it's a thank you point for the advice you gave me on one live.
Okay.
That way, like this. Okay. I'm your follower from Namibia.
Okay.
And the only problem I have is weight loss now.
Weight?
Yeah, it's weight loss. I don't understand, but actually the body shape is on point.
What is your current body weight?
My current body weight is 104. It's still the same.
What do you mean it's still the same? What have you changed in your diet?
I changed everything that had to do with sweet, sugar, even fruits. Then I just concentrated my diet on meat, and I changed from eating 3 times in a day to 1 or 2 in a chance, and changed also alcohol, and it is still the same.
There is a video on. I'm actually opening that video right now. There's a video on my platform on YouTube that is called. Let me just read that title to you. Yeah, it's labeled a step-by-step weight loss journey. How to lose weight naturally, no drugs, no surgery. That is the title of the video. How to lose weight naturally, no drugs, no surgery. Make good use of that video.
Okay, I will do that.
Simply go on my YouTube and find that video. It's called How to Lose Weight Naturally, No Drugs, No Surgery.
All right. Yeah. And I wanted also to ask for something that is my community suffering, and I don't understand where it is coming from, and that is high blood pressure.
But I've done videos about high blood pressure all through, bro.
If it is on YouTube, then I will go and
on YouTube.
Running.
So there's another one that is called Reversing the Metabolic Syndrome. Reversing the Metabolic Syndrome. That is a video that explains diabetes and hypertension and how to reverse them.
Okay, I will go through it and I will advise.
Awesome. Thank you.
And thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you. Listen, guys. Hey. Huyo amekukasirisha. No, sijakasirika. I'm like this information is there. People just don't want to get it. Yes, hello.
Okay. So I had one question.
Kindly mute the TV. Is it the TV or what? Mute that thing.
Yes,
Yes. You've post yourself instead of muting the TV. I'm waiting for 8,000 likes here. Yes, thank you, Mickey, for that. I'm waiting for 8,000 likes before I call it a night.
Can you
Yes,
hear me now?
black chocolate.
Okay. So tonight we've talked about wheat and fruits. So I was curious to ask, does this mean that if you're not trying to lose weight, if you're looking for something long term, should you quit it long term? Or like something like fruits you can incorporate once in a while?
Okay. So let me ask you, okay.
That's the first question.
Okay, let me answer that directly. If I tell you, no, let me answer it by using a question. If I tell you that this is diazonal and you've been taking it and it's a poison, it's going to kill you, and then you stop taking it, and then now you are free from death, do you go back to taking it just because you're free from death?
No.
That's the point. What is the nutritional value of fruits?
You've talked about this, about fructose and the ascorbic acid.
So what is the nutritional value of fruits? The nutritional value, how does it help you?
Maybe the fiber.
But fiber is in vegetables.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So do we go back to it? Do we go back to eating wheat to inflame our guts?
No.
Thank you. Next question.
Also, I wanted to ask about fasting.
Yes.
Is there like a program you're supposed to use, or like you can just follow your body? If you can go to church at 6 hours.
No, you see.
You go or
yeah. You see, fasting is a way of life. Okay. So it's something that you grow into. You start small and then grow into it. There's no way you can just start by a 48-hour fast. You simply start with maybe an intermittent fast of 16/8, then you grow into a 24-hour fast, and then 36, and then 48, and then 72 at least once in a month. So the best schedule will be maybe a 48-hour fast after 2 weeks, a 72-hour fast once a month. But on a daily basis, you can do a 1 meal a day. That's a 24-hour fast, or 2 meals a day. That's a 16/8. So the choice is yours. And also, depending on the goals that you want to achieve and how far you want to go with the health purposes. But the reason why we do prolonged fasts is because of something called autophagy, which basically means we want to clean our systems.
So when it comes to rehydration, when you're fasting, will you take a little bit of water? Like how are you supposed to rehydrate?
Rehydrate with water and salt. Rehydrate with sugarless black coffee. Rehydrate with sugarless green tea or black tea. And then you can simply just do just plain water, no problem. But I would prefer, if you're taking water, you take plus salt, because you don't want to get dehydrated. Again, when you're fasting, you might have a slight headache. So that salt will help you clear that headache. And that's what you do. So those are the fluids that you can use for rehydration purposes. You can also do water plus ACV.
How about the quantity of it?
Your body asks for the quantity by sending you into thirst. So drink water when you're thirsty until you get better. The thirst will just disappear when you have the amount excess of water.
Yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. It's time to say good night. Let me read some comments here and then we call it a night. Pylori at 3 years, vaye. Imagine a child at 3 years being given the dispersible tablets for H. pylori. It's crazy. I do love these doctors here. I am a nurse here in the US, and I am changing lives in small way through telephones. Coming to Kenya to teach my village peeps. Well done, African rule girl in America. Keep doing you. Hey. It's so hard for someone to admit yes tuanze hapo kwanza. Okay, that one. Good night, Doc. Thank you. All right, Sonny Big, finish this for us.
Oh, thanks, Doc, for your information. Thank you very much for today's topic.
You're welcome.
No, many people have been requesting me to prepare for them chapati. It was my business before. I used to prepare chapati for people.
Yeah?
Pumpkin chapati, mandazi, baking cakes. I've dropped preparing.
do you know nowadays people use ghee to cook chapati? What a waste of ghee.
So I think I dropped it. Every person who wants, especially Ugandans, want me to prepare for them chapati and this. They pay like a kilo, maybe 20 euros.
Okay.
that euros.
Amazing.
So I have stopped the business for the sake of.
They now think you've joined a cult.
Everybody is complaining. Why not? Why are you not giving us?
Man. But one day it shall be hard. So we are going slow but very carefully. That's why we're not in a hurry. But before I even get back to you, please, guys.
Another thing I wanted to ask about how much is the coffee?
I have two types. I have 500 grams and I have about 400 grams. So the 400 gram goes for 350. The 500 gram goes for 600. And then we have the tallow. The tallow goes for 1200. That was the sheep tallow. They call it lard sometimes. So yeah, that's 1200 per kg.
And I want to order for like five.
I'll give
five.
Okay, but I'll give you the adequate information about them on Friday, because that's the day I think they'll be released to Nairobi.
Text you, Doc. I'll text you.
No
I have your
problem.
number.
All right.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for that. Our Honeybee is always supporting our channel, man. Thank you so much. So guys, if you've not learned anything from this live, you are at the wrong place. But you'll never be at the wrong place, because I make it the right place for you. So thank you so much for joining in. Imagine all of you who have been here for all this time, just listening to me, just ranting, and just making sense to you. Thank you so much for actually allowing me to share my insights about health with you. Shall never be taken for granted. I appreciate all of you. Again, if you've never subscribed on my YouTube channel, please, we want to get to 30,000 by the end of the month. I believe by now we've shot. So by the time I'm finishing this live, I'll go check, and I hope that we can get to a good place. Thank you so much for 106,000 likes on TikTok. Thank you for each one and every one of you who has put in an effort to listen and to ask questions. If I've not answered your question, there's always a next time. Friday, we are going to speak about sugar in all forms. Sugar in form of carbohydrates. We're going to talk about the seed oils. Why do I tell you not to eat seed oils? So please be here on Friday at 8:30, and then let's just make it happen as we close it, because we'll break for 2 weeks as we head to Nairobi for our physical consultations. Our physical consultations will start on 30th of this month, and they will end on the 9th day of August. So please drag or tag or refer those clients to us so that we can handle them and teach them something about their health and change their life for the better. We do it in the best way possible, because our role is to ease pain and suffering from the lives of God's people, and you are the God's people. So thank you so much for coming through. I hope to see you on Friday. Have a good week, and tomorrow, those of us who are going to the gym tomorrow, let's wake up tomorrow and do what we do the best, okay? Have a good night. Take care of yourselves.